Alrighty, isn't that a great video? Chris helped me make that. Find that. That's a great video, and I'm missing lights right here. There you go, Trevor. All right, I'm back. Who's glad to see me? Is anybody glad to see me back? Does anybody remember me from last summer? There we go. I got Mr. Petrell. That's the only one that counts. It's okay. It's okay. It's good to be back. How many of you remember me from last summer? And I am hot.
No, you're not.
Noel, you can go talk to Pastor Battle after this service. We're going to have a great summer this year, guys, and Pastor Battle gave me the ability to lead us off with our sermons and with we're not doing a series, but it's kind of the intern series, so it's whatever we want. And I talked to Pastor Battle. I was like, what do you think, and Trevor, I was like, what do you think the teens need? And we kind of landed, as I was hearing about the youth group and hearing how you guys were doing, we kind of landed on this idea of soldiers of God. And I wanted to talk to you about being a soldier. How many of you have ever been in a battle? Ever been in a battle? It could be a fun battle. You think about it. You play tug of war. That's a battle. It's one team versus another. So how many of you have ever played a game? Team sports? Yeah, all of us. We're all in a battle. And I actually asked Pastor Battle, I'm like, what's something that's been very contentious in the youth group lately? And he said this, and I have the clicker in my back pocket. He said this. He said something that's been very contentious and very it's been a battle in the youth group. He said this. He said it's been Marvel versus DC. All my Marvel people shout out. All my Marvel people say yeah. Yeah! All those weird DC nerds say yeah. Yeah! See, Marvel outweighs, so Marvel wins. Just gonna say. But if we look, so that's been a battle, quote unquote, that's been going on. Marvel's obviously better, right? Yeah! DC's obviously the subpar movie. Some of you need to go to the altar tonight after service, and we need to discuss your choices. But as we look at the movies, we have a lot of fans, like Disney fans, Marvel fans, DC fans in here. I'm a Marvel fan. Marvel's obviously better. As we look at the movies, as we look at what these movies talk about and these movies are all about, they're superhero movies, right? And you have the good guys versus the bad guys. And you have one of the biggest movies for the Marvel universe was the Avengers movie. You had all of the Marvel, you had all the Avengers, you had Iron Man, Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Captain America, Thor, so on and so forth, Nick Fury, and they all were going up and they were battling. It's called the Battle of New York. And who were they going up against? Who remembers? Loki and the Chitauri. It was a battle. They fought. They had a war against each other. I had to tailor it to you DC goons. For you who like DC, this is the first movie that came to mind when I thought DC. This is the battle I thought of. Superman versus Batman. But think about it. They fought against each other. There's literally a movie, Superman versus Batman versus Superman. But that's the fight. It's them versus them. Them versus them, yes. But think about it, if you would. As they prepared, as we watched the movie, we see this climax and we see this fight going on. We see this battle that they are about to have to take on, and they have to go after and they have to win. Because if they lose, the world would be different. If the Avengers lost the Battle of New York, Loki would be in control and New York would be destroyed. I don't know what happened in Batman and Superman, so I can't really say what happened because I don't remember. But think about it. Just as the Avengers were in a battle, even among themselves in Civil War, and against Thanos and against Loki and against Ultron, just as Justice League had many battles, even against themselves, Batman versus Superman, you and I, as Christians, are in a daily battle. You and I, as Christians, are under attack. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news about this, but we are in a battle. And the main idea I feel a little somber, main idea is that you and I are in a battle and we need to be prepared for what we're about to face. As we're about to go into this summer, we're already started this summer, it's going to get very easy to get lackadaisical. I know even for myself, if I was not here, I'd probably be in my room at home, just sitting down, relaxing, doing whatever I want to do because I've got nothing to do. But it's then that I get the most attacked. We get easy, we get lackadaisical, we get calm and the battle begins. So I want to talk to you out of Ephesians 6 about how to be a soldier of God. What does it mean? How do you do it? So let's talk about that. First thing you need to do as a soldier of God is to know your enemy. Think about the Avengers. Think about who they're fighting. When they fought, when they started, they didn't really know what was happening. They didn't really know what was going on. They were just being called together. They were being brought together to take on an enemy. Nick Fury started this program called the Avengers Initiative. And he brought significant, huge people together so that they could take on an enemy. And who was that enemy? It was Loki. They came together, they knew who their enemy was, and they were able to go forward and take on that enemy. And so just like they knew, you and I have an enemy. Look at verse 12 of Ephesians 6. Let's read it. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. You and I have an enemy. Who can tell me who the enemy is? Shout it out. Who can tell me who this enemy is? Satan, the devil. The devil is our enemy. He is the one who is against us. He doesn't want anything good for you. He doesn't want you to progress in your Christianity, in your faith. He doesn't want you to grow. He is the enemy. Many people throughout history have had fights, and there's historic talks about it. But even in the Bible, if we read the Bible and we look through the Bible, there are many stories about how people fought against the enemy, fought against the devil. One that comes up to mind progressively or a lot is Peter. How many know who the Apostle Peter was, right? Yeah, all of us. What is the Apostle Peter known for? Anybody being stupid sometimes, being dumb, like saying dumb stuff, like not being smart with what he says? Peter was under attack. One of the apostles closest to Jesus, one of the big three, was even under attack by the devil. And he said it so much, he was under so much attack, and he was under attack for so long that he said in his gospel, he said, be sober, be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, walketh about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. The devil is walking around. He's seeking you. He's trying to find you. He is the enemy. He wants you to fall. He wants you to fail. He doesn't want you to succeed as a Christian. So we need to know our enemy. We need to know our enemy. The devil, it's interesting, he doesn't like you. He actually hates you and he hates the brotherhood. One of the biggest things he can do is turn you against each other. Turn Christians against Christians. And it says that in the passage. He says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. I don't fight against Bryce. Bryce doesn't fight against me, hopefully. I don't fight against Trevor. Trevor literally can't fight against me right now. But we don't fight against each other. My enemy is not Trevor. It's not David. It's not Jeevan. There's Jeevan. It's not Mr. Betrell. I would lose in a fight against Mr. Betrell. I'm just going to say. He's a little injured now, but I still lose. Our enemy is the devil. Who we fight against is the devil. But he tries to trick you. He tries to deceive you and tries to make you think that the enemy is actually the person that you're going up against, the person that you're in conflict with. It's Pastor Josh Tice, Pastor Matt's younger brother. I love Pastor Josh. He is actually the one that I got introduced to the Tice family. He said this in a sermon a while back. He said, if the devil does not need to fight us when he can get us to fight against each other. When he can get people to fight against each other and get people to get Christians and you get this youth group to go against each other, we'll lose. Because he's already won. He's gotten us to think the enemy is the wrong person. Sun Tzu, in his book Art of War, said this. He said, all war is based on deception. All war is based on deception. People fight and try and deceive people. We see it with what happened with America versus Iran the last week. They intentionally sent bombers the wrong direction to get them off guard, and then they took out the targets with the real bombers. All war is based on deception. That's what the devil does. The devil tries to get me against David and pit me against David so that he thinks I'm the enemy and I think he's the enemy, but really the true enemy, it's not me or David. It's the devil. He's the enemy. So not only do you need to know the enemy, but you need to follow your king. Follow your king. Verse 10, it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of whose might? His. It doesn't say be strong in Chris Carlson, does it? Is that what it says? Be strong in Pastor Battle. Be strong in Kyle Patrell. No, it says be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Some Christians know Jesus. All Christians know Jesus. Know we're in a war, but they're following the king incorrectly. See, we know who Jesus is, and we often have a partial view. We think of Jesus as this. We think of him as the one who sat on the Mount of Olives and taught. And that is who Jesus is. He's the one that sat and taught and gave us gospels, gave us the Bible. We also think of him as the one who sat with children and was tender and was loving and compassionate. We often forget, well, as Revelation shows us, we forget the Jesus that was a warrior, was the one that was going into battle. We see that we sang the song, the battle belongs to the Lord, because he is the one that's going to ride on the horse. He's the one that's going to defeat the enemy in the end. We often forget that. We say, I'm strong in the Lord. What does that do for me? It gives you that guy. I'm strong in the Lord. What does that mean? It means the battle belongs to him. Because it says it's not in my might. I can't do anything. I can't defeat the devil alone. I can't do anything to defeat the enemy. He's been doing this for 6,000 years. I don't know how to defeat somebody who's that old. But Jesus has also been here. And he can and he will. We shouldn't be afraid of the war, the battle that's upon us. Because we have the Savior. And we need to follow him. You say, okay, great point. How do I follow him though, Drew? How do I follow the king? How do I follow him? Well, when the devil attacks you, when your enemy comes after you and comes after your thoughts, you follow the king by thinking on the right things. Philippians 4:8 says what? Say it with me. Whatsoever things are? Whatsoever things are? Whatsoever things are honest, pure, lovely, of good report. If there be any virtue, if there be any praise, do what? Think on these things. When the devil attacks you, the biggest thing he tries to go for is your thoughts, tries to go for is your insecurities or your problems or your doubts or anything. And so what you need to do is you need to think on what's true, what's honest, what's just. I like the corollary when we say that verse, what we really are doing is we're thinking on him. We're thinking on Jesus. Because Jesus is the one that fulfills all of those things. He is true. He is honest. He is just. He is pure. He's lovely. He's of good report. We need to think on him. How do I follow the king? We think on him. So when you get in trials, when you get in problems, when the devil attacks you, think on Jesus. What does he say in John 14:6? I am the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is the one that has completed everything for us. We don't need to worry. We don't need to let the devil take us on and attack us and hold us down, because we have the king who has already won. The battle belongs to him. And so you must determine. Daniel tells us this in Daniel 1:8. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not eat a king's meat, nor defile himself. He purposed that he was going to follow Jesus and think on Jesus and live for Jesus no matter what. It's no matter if a teenager or somebody else in your life tries to get you to do wrong, or tries to tell you, oh, it's okay, you can do this, or the devil tempts you like, you can go and do that. No. What's the right thing to think about? Think on him, determined to follow him, that no matter what comes up against you, no matter who comes up against you, you will follow Jesus. Follow the king. Third, pick up the armor. Pick up your armor. Verse 11 says, after it tells you to be strong in the might of the Lord, it says, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Verse 13, therefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Pick up your armor. Each one of us, as that video showed, I love that video because it ends with each piece is tailored to us. Each piece is made for us. We can take it, we can use it. We have a job that we need to take our armor. Tony Stark going into battle would be quite dumb. Tony Stark by himself can do nothing, but when Tony Stark puts on his armor, when he puts on his suit, he's what? He's Iron Man. And he can defeat the enemies. Now, he almost died in Infinity War, but we won't discuss that. That was the nanotech suit. That wasn't his fault. Captain America by himself, he's a great guy. He's a super soldier. He's a superhuman, but he needs his shield. He uses his shield to take on the enemy. He's very strong. Yes, he's a super soldier. He's not Superman. But without his shield, he won't be prepared properly for battle. There's even scenes in Avengers where he comes up to they're about to go after Loki, and he's like, "You got a suit?" They're like, "Yeah." Well, suit up. Because without your suit, without your armor, without your protection, without what you need, you won't be of any use. Pick up your armor. It isn't a once and done. I can't just okay, I got saved. I'm going to put on my breastplate, put on my helmet. No, it's an everyday decision, everyday thing that I'm going to wake up. I'm going to say, I'm alive to Jesus. I'm dead to sin. I'm going to put on my armor. I'm going to let him live through me. I'm going to let him use me. The pieces, I don't have them up there on the screen. We might go through them more in depth sometime later. Peace is the belt of truth. You need to know truth. Without truth, you got nothing. We have so many podcasts, so many videos, so many series on what is truth. I got it right here. Do you know the truth? Do you have the truth with you? The breastplate of righteousness. Something that protects your heart. If the devil can get to your heart, if the devil can attack you, he can get you. The boots for the gospel. Are you ready to share the gospel? Are you prepared? Do you? We go out every Saturday at 9:30 if you want to go. The boots for the gospel. Being prepared, ready to share the gospel, because the devil doesn't want to go out. The devil doesn't like what we're doing here. He made my mic hot just so I could be like, I don't want to speak tonight. The boots of the gospel. The shield of faith. That the devil can make you doubt, can make you scared, he can do everything he wants to you. P.T. Barnum once said there's a sucker born every minute. P.T. Barnum was there, and he made people lose their belief in what they thought was reality. So that's why you have the shield of faith. The helmet of salvation, knowing that you're saved. The knowledge, the confidence that you're saved. Sword of Spirit. What's the sword of Spirit, guys? The Bible. For you in Camp of Liberty, you guys remember the song. I didn't want to sing it. Thank you for saying no. The sword of Spirit. This book is truth. This book is right. This book is changing. Read it. Spend time in it. You've got to know this book. You've got to know the Bible, what's in it. Because every time you pick up this book, you're declaring war on the devil. Every time you're picking it up, you're using it, you're fighting against him, you're attacking him. And then fourthly, because I was told I had to be out of here by 30, accept your support. It's interesting, we get through all of this, we encourage you, I've seen it done, I've done it in the past in preaching this sermon. We get all, you got to know your enemy. You got to know your warrior king. You got to pick up your armor. And then we just trail off. We just trail off, and we skip, honestly, the last 6 verses that we're about to touch on right now. Because a lot of people are like, it's not as important. These are some of the most important verses that you will ever read, I think. Look at verse 18 with me of Ephesians 6. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints, and for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that it may open my mouth boldly, to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in the bonds, that wherein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. You and I, as soldiers, as Christians, have a superpower. Something the devil doesn't have, something no demon can use against you. We have a superpower called prayer. It is a superpower. It is something that we have that we can use. Every soldier, every cop. I'm on the security department of my college. It's not as glamorous as it sounds. But everybody that's in that area, soldier, cop, security guard, we have something called a radio. And with that radio, we can communicate to dispatch, back to other officers, and so on and so forth. Why do we do that? We do that so that we can know where everybody is, how we're doing, and so that dispatch can know we're good or not good. We're okay, we're 10-4, or we're 10-34, you better come get me. Code 3. And that's what prayer is. It's communication from me to God. It's communication, it's the channel from me to God, so that when I need help, or even before I need help, I can go to God and I can be like, I need your help. I'm under attack. I know who my enemy is, and I know who you are, and I know I have the armor, but I need your support. I need you. We have superpower. We have prayer, and prayer should be desperate. Praying always with all prayer and supplication. When you're praying, and I'm not saying you have to get on your hands and knees and cry and beg and scream out to God, like, help me. But you should be desperately asking God for help. You should be desperately going to him and saying, Lord, I need you. Lord, help me. Lord, be there for me. Lord, I need your help because I can't defeat the devil. Psalm 102:17 talks about how he hears the prayer of the destitute. The person who is fully broken, fully needing God, he hears it. He hears every prayer. Prayer should be persistent. Praying always with all perseverance and supplication. Persistent. Luke 11, Jesus talks about how you need to keep knocking, keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking, keep asking, keep seeking. You should not just pray, okay, I need help from the devil. Okay, I prayed, I'm done. No, it's a continuous, Lord, I need you. I need your help. I need your assistance. I need you to, not even your assistance, I need you to take over for this. I need you to do this for me. I think about persistence. I was thinking about it as I was preparing. I took an hour to prepare this. Like, I came in here before Chris came in here for youth group, and I walked through it. It took an hour. You better be glad I'm not doing that sermon. I got one laugh. Thank you. Talking about persistence. I wasn't supposed to be here this summer. Thank you for the sadness. I got one sad look. Everybody else is like, I don't care who you are. You're not supposed to be here. Like, it's okay. I wasn't supposed to be here this summer. Me and Pastor Battle, he has disappeared from our site, but me and Pastor Battle talked last November. And he's like, I have one spot open, and it's open for you if you want it. But it's open for you if you want it. But, let's pray more. Let's ask God. And so we prayed, we talked, and we're like, God, I think is leading us in different directions. So we kind of agreed. We did agree that I'd be seeking other options, and he'd sign the other guy he had option for. And then like January 14th, I remember random dates. January 14th came around, and the church I signed a contract with to work this summer called me and said, hey, we can't take you this summer. January 14th, all the churches that had come to Pensacola had already signed people. Like Liberty was filled up, according to my knowledge. Like Campus Church, another really good internship, had already signed all 3 of their interns. I also got cut from Campus Church's internship program. Chris and Trevor know how hard it is to get on that internship program. It is hard. But like all the churches had been signed. Everybody was done. And I'm just like, what am I doing? And so I prayed. I persistently prayed. And then I persistently bothered Pastor Michael. And I said, hey, can we call? And he's like, yeah. And so we tried to call. And then I was like, hey, can we call again? Because I need to talk to you. And we called, I think it was like January 20th. Again, I remember the most random dates. January 20th, we called, and he's like, so yeah, actually, I only have one guy signed. You want a job? I was like, yep, I need one. But that's about persistence. I went to God, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. The church, where you thought I was going to be home. It was going to be nice. I was in Indiana. Las Vegas is a little nicer than Indiana. I was going to be in Indiana. Like, it was going to be so nice. And he's like, dunk. So what do I need to do? I need to keep knocking, keep asking, keep seeking God until he found out what else to do. Persistence. Prayer should be consistent. Consistent. There doesn't need to be a specific place. There doesn't need to be a specific time. But are you consistently going to God in prayer? Or are you just going to him when the hard times come? Are you consistently seeking God, consistently asking God? Or are you just asking God when the trials happen? It's interesting. All the interns are very different. David will tell you this. We all have different personalities. We all have different things. When I read my Bible, I put my earbuds in, my AirPod Pros. I pull out my phone, my red phone, and I turn on audio Bible, and then I read my actual Bible as I do it, just because it cocoons me almost. I don't hear any of the stuff happening. I don't hear David making his breakfast. I don't hear Colton doing his hair. I don't hear Jeevan doing whatever Jeevan's doing. Actually, Jeevan's sleeping, so I don't hear Jeevan snoring. Like, everything's locked up. Like, I can't hear a thing, and I'm just focused on God. When I pray, I turn on some music, and I do the same thing. Do you get alone with God? And you just pray to him, and just seek him and read his word? Is that something that you prioritize? When thinking about that, like I do a summer series, or just a series of myself where I want to study the Bible with a pastor. And so I've been watching through a series on John, and I take notes on it. And I opened up my book to take notes last Wednesday, actually. I opened up my book. And the date before, so the 20th, I opened up my book. And the date before that was the last date I took notes and actually went through my book of John was June 6th. I'd missed 18 days of my Bible study that I wanted to do. It wasn't my Bible reading. I'm in First Chronicles in my Bible. Please pray for me. It wasn't my Bible reading. I'm still consistent with that, but like my extra stuff, because I didn't prioritize it, it slipped. And that's the same thing for prayer. That's the same thing for Bible reading. You have a superpower. God has given you the Word of God to attack the enemy with. He's given you prayer, and we oftentimes, so often, we just say, whoop. What's that for? Whoop. Oh, I forgot about that. I have that. And we only go to God when we need it. But here's the thing, we always need God. We always need him to help us. We always need him to show us what to do. Not just when you're down a river without a paddle. Pastor Michael's going to take us on a kayaking trip later this summer. Please pray for us. It's not just when we're doing something. No, it's every day. Do you pray? Do you read his word? Finally, your assist, your support is the friends in the fight. Within this youth group, I've already seen it. I was with a bunch of them over here in this corner at like 5:45 because Jay Berg ended worship practice a little early. Be quiet. That's Zach Granada. You want to blame anybody, blame Zach Granada. But I saw a group of friends just sitting over here. And it reminded me of something. We all have friends in the fight. Nobody is alone. We have a group of teenagers, an entire youth group, who are all going through different things. We're all having our different struggles, but we are friends, and we should be there for each other. Paul, if we were to read on in verse 22, I'm not going to do it because of time, but verse 22, he talks about how he has his faithful companion Tychicus, or Tychicus. It's a weird word, it's Greek. But he has his friends, he has his companions. If you were to read Colossians 4, 7 through 18, it talks all about all the people that are with Paul, helping Paul. He talks a lot about the people who are with him. He had friends with him to help him, that he could lean on. So when he needed help, when he had problems, he could go to them. You and I have friends in the fight. We're all going through different things, but we can all be there for each other. I realized this ever more just this last week when my friend who's just finished OCS at Marine Corps, Quantico, He called me. He's like, bro, I need you to pray with me right now. I'm so distraught. He's like, he made it, but he's like, so like I got so far away from God in there. I'm so like, I need you. And it's not that I can do anything. All I can do is pray, but I can still be there for him. We all have friends. And we all need people in our lives to help us. We all need people in our lives that can speak into us, that can shoulder some of the burden. Do you have that? That will literally be there? You have that? Or your friend's just linear, you're like, oh, he's a friend. Oh, Trey's a friend, but I don't tell him anything. I saw a group of people right here just sharing like their stories and sharing fun, and I know, because I've heard it, that they're all friends and that they're all there for each other when tough times happen. And you need that in your life. I was talking to Pastor Matt, and he's like, I have friends, and one of them is his brother. One of them is Pastor Josh, but he's like, I have friends that when tough times come, I call them up right away. I ask them for their advice, for their counsel, what they think, just to give me a different opinion, and also to pray for me. Do you have people in your life praying for you? Friends, siblings, that you pour into, that you say, I need your help, I need your prayer. I sat with one yesterday. He's a friend, and I was like, I've got a burden on my shoulders, and I need you to just listen and then tell me what to do. But have godly friends in your life. Have people in your life. You're a soldier of God. Soldiers, cops, security guards. I'm the weakest job in that group. Like, that's terrible. They don't go in alone. I think, Mr. Noriega, are you in the car alone? And you're in the car alone, maybe. But in his squadron, he's got, 10 guys with you per shift? Yeah. 10 guys per shift that he can call on, that he can go to when he needs help. Do you have that in your life? When tough times happen. You have prayer. You have friends. Lean on them. Lean on your godly friends. You're a soldier of God. You got to know your enemy. You got to follow the king. You got to pick up your armor. And you got to accept the assistance, the support that God has given you. The question is, will you today? The Avengers would be nothing if not all 6 of them were there. They all defeated their enemies. Yeah, Ironwood defeated Ironmonger and the weird Electro guy. Captain America defeated the Red Skull and then his own best friend, Bucky Barnes. But none of them would have individually. They actually tried all to individually defeat Loki, and none of them won. Why? Because they needed to work together. They needed each other. And they needed their Overwatch, Nick Fury, telling them, hey, you got a nuke coming. You might want to fix this. You and I are about to go into this summer. It's going to get very easy. Just go with the flow. Very easy. I'm here at church and then I'm gone. Let me encourage you. Be a soldier of God. Read your Bible. Pray. And get some and connect with your friends daily even. And share with each other what God's teaching you, what God's showing you. Build that now, because trust me, when you are in college, you're going to want that. You're going to need that. Let's pray.